everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dead Rabbit Radio. I'm your host, Jason Carpenter. I'm having a great day. Hope you're having a great day too. Hope you're having lots of fun. You know, I read a lot of zombie stuff. I watch a lot of zombie movies. There's one story that I've always kind of feel that's left out of the zombie mythology. You have a group of survivors in a house. They've survived the initial 24 to 72-hour onslaught of the zombie attack. They're running low on supplies. And they're sitting there. There's maybe about 5 of them. They know each other fairly well. Their supplies are running low. And they're sitting there and they're thinking, we need to go out. We need to go out into this horde because we can't last much longer. And so they begin to draw up plans. They pack up their gear, whatever weapons they have available, because across town they know there is a pharmacy full of Xanax, Vicodin, oxycodone, everything that they need. What happens to drug addicts during the zombie apocalypse? That story's never been fully explored. We had a touch of it in The Walking Dead, which I still watch. I still like that show. I know a lot of people have given up on it. There was this young man who was like alone. He was an alcoholic. He ended up joining the group, and he actually ended up getting a member of Rick's squad killed trying to get alcohol. And it was exposed that he was an alcoholic. And then they had a little hint of it in World War Z, where, love it or hate that movie, I think the first 2/3 of World War Z are fairly competent. Up until the plane crash. The movie's actually, it's not as good as the book, but it's a well-done, big-budget zombie movie. And the first 2/3 of it I thought were solid. It had its flaws, but the first 2/3 of it was good. The last third of it was garbage. But they had a scene in that one where Brad Pitt goes to get an asthma inhaler for his daughter. That was one of the flaws in the first part of the movie. It was stupid. But anyways, he goes to get an asthma inhaler for his daughter, and there's a junkie in the pharmacy that he has to talk down to get. So, because that guy went there specifically for the drugs. What happens to people who are drug addicts or alcoholics during a zombie infestation? We're not going to run into them as we're trying to get food and water or get out of the city or to fortify our buildings. You will be running into people whose sole goal at that moment is to get more drugs. And that's an interesting, they'll have to get food as well, but that won't be their main priority. You also, I think, would be an interesting story is people who need drugs. Not something like an asthma inhaler or insulin, but imagine a zombie story with a character who is on psychiatric medicine to prevent them from having like delusions or hallucinations or the voices in their head or whatever it is, like a severe case of mental illness, and a zombie attack happens and they don't have that medication. So they're not only fighting the zombies, but they're fighting the insanity in themselves as it slowly begins to creep out as they're on their way to try to locate some more of this fairly rare medicine. Interesting. I think a lot of the zombie stories have been done to death. My least favorite zombie story is 5 years after the zombie attack, we're rebuilding. A lot of low-budget zombie movies do that because they don't have to have large crowd scenes. I think zombie movies can be done without large crowd scenes. One last thing before we get started. I actually saw a movie the other day. You can kind of consider this a Dead Rabbit Recommends, but I saw a movie the other day called Raccoon Valley. It was a zombie movie about a deaf woman, about this deaf girl trying to navigate the world of zombies. The whole movie, it's her, there's no dialogue, there's a little bit of news reports. I think there's maybe only 2 or 3 zombies in it. And you're watching the movie, it's beautifully shot. It looks like a dream. It's just amazing. And at the ending, it's kind of more, I think, aimed at art students. It's only an hour, or like film students, it's only an hour long. And it's not super weird. When I say film students, it's because you watch this whole movie, it's beautifully shot, and the whole movie costs $175. Not to watch, but to make. I'm assuming the actress must have known the director, but the director edited it and wrote it, did all the VX, all the special effects for it. And the ending credits shows how much of the movie was special effects that she didn't realize. Like streets were just all special effects. She was just walking by like this corner and they put in this whole lane and made it look forested. Whole movie cost $175. The director of Raccoon Valley was a man named Turner Clay. I've actually seen, he's done 3 zombie movies now. They get progressively better. He did Disaster LA or Emergency LA or something like that. That was okay. Then he did State of Emergency, which I used to have a movie review website. I'll post the link below, but I really enjoyed State of Emergency. It was a great little zombie movie, and the zombies were very, very creepy and fast, and they could open doors. I tell people, have you ever been so sick you haven't been able to open the door? Like, zombies will be able to open the doors, unless they're truly, like, come back from the dead. If they're rage-induced, they'll be able to open doors. And then Raccoon Valley is his latest movie, and they've just gotten progressively better, so hats off to Turner Clay. If you're looking for interesting takes on the zombie genre, I would definitely recommend State of Emergency and Raccoon Valley. There's still a lot of stories to tell. I don't think it is as oversaturated as people think it is. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.